All right, in today's video, we're gonna be going over some ideas on how to become a more effective counter fighter in sparring or in Kumite, including some drills that can help you develop this skill. Now, in one of our next videos, we're gonna be talking about how to beat a counter fighter, so make sure you keep an eye out for that. All right, so before we get into the drills, something to just keep in mind is that counter fighting is so much harder than attacking in a technical sense. All right, being an offensive fighter, you make the decisions, you decide when to go and what to throw. As a counter fighter, you have to kind of respond to the other person's signals and figure out what to do in a split-second notice. So keep that in mind, that it's not that you're just waiting for them to move and then throwing something out there. You actually have to try to be a step ahead of them and read their motion so that you can set them up properly for your counter. So the first thing to keep in mind is your distancing. All right, now if we're set up into our stance and I place myself as a counter fighter right here, I might be in a lot of trouble, because if he's fast, he might be able to catch me with something. Let's say he throws a back leg round kick. He's going to be able to hit me from this range. Front leg round kick, he can catch me from here. And a jab is really simple in that he only needs to move one foot. So if he steps his front foot, he can catch me with that jab without doing anything else. Now, this is a good range if you're extremely fast and have really good response or reaction time. So if he throws his jab, I might be able to catch from here, but that's at a higher level. So if we're not quite there yet, open your distance up and put yourself at a position where if he threw a back leg round kick, he's gonna be just outside of range. Now, of course, he could reach me with that, but he would have to step his front foot first. So if he steps his front foot, now he can hit me, but I'm gonna use that step as my kicking off point. So let's say he wants to do a front leg round kick. Even if he slides his back foot all the way up and then throws that kick, he's going to be really reaching for it. So even though he can kind of touch here, it's not going to be a really solid kick. So as he throws anything, I'm going to pick up on that little step that you'll see just before the technique happens. If he wants to throw a jab, he's going to have to cover a little bit of distance first, and that's going to kind of give me an idea of what his intent is. So if he wants to throw his jab, he's going to have to usually move either the back leg or kind of hop in a couple times, something along those lines. All right, so now that we have the distance under control, the next thing we're going to control is the attack that they're actually going to throw. So if I set up in a guard this way and I'm kind of protecting everything, the person is going to have to be crafty, be creative, and kind of sneaky with their attacks. They're going to have to figure out a way for them to make an opening. But if I give them a subtle opening, so maybe I go from here to here, and I give you this side of my face, it's just going to kind of raise their awareness and give them just confidence in throwing that attack. If I move my hand across a little bit, you'll see that this side of my face opens up, and it's going to give you the idea to attack that side. Now, of course, I don't want to sit here and then go like this and try to make it really drastic, but all I'm going to do is move it slightly. So if I move my hand slightly off to the side, if we're setting up in our stance just from here, and I move it slightly over, he's going to be able to throw his jab. Now, if I leave it right here and he just extends his jab straight out, it of course is going to run right into my guard. If I move this over a couple inches, he throws his jab, whack, and he's going to catch me. So it's not a drastic change, it's just a little bit. It's just a couple inches, and we're doing this in a subtle way so they don't pick up on it. So I might take my rear hand from here and bring it up to my chest, and that's going to show him the lead leg round kick, and it can slide right in there without having to set it up all that much. So we're trying to take away their creativity and give them something to do. And last one, if I change my hand across just like this, it's going to show that rear hand or the punch right up to the face. So in that case, if he threw just his right hand to the face, he might catch me right away. He might try to take this hand away and then punch. So we want to know all of the different versions of their attack that they might throw. Now, if we're trying to decide on which one of these to do, first ask yourself what technique you want to counter with. So if I want to counter with a reverse punch, I wouldn't set up for him to throw his lead leg round kick because I'm gonna run into something. So if I wanna set up a reverse punch counter, I might give him my face a little bit, one way or the other, so that as he's going high, I go low and then catch this way. All right, now another thing is I might set up a side kick, and again, I might throw my hand over just by a little bit so that it commits him up high so I can go down low with my technique. All right, so we have the distancing down. We figure out what attack we're trying to have them throw at us. Now, the last one is we just have to get them to do it. Now, the important part is trying to get them to throw the attack when you are expecting it. So you don't want them to try to catch you off guard. You're gonna try to set them up as far as timing as well. So if we're set up in our stance, I don't want to just bounce around and not really have any strategy other than I'm gonna throw my technique when he moves. What I want to do is get him to really feel antsy about throwing his attack. So let's say he wants to throw a jab. I'm going to kind of float outside of this range, and then I might move a little bit. So as soon as I feel like he might throw that attack, I'm going to move and not actually give it to him yet. So this is going to make them really ready to overcommit to this attack. So if we're set up again, and he wants to throw his jab, go ahead, whack. All right, now, as soon as he feels comfortable to throw that jab, I might move away a little bit. And you can see him kind of hesitate and get ready. And I'm gonna move, right, and move. And then, now if you've noticed, I positioned myself right on the edge of the mats. And this is a key point that a lot of great counter fighters have down to an awesome science. And that's positioning themselves at the edge of the ring or in the corner.
Nobody puts baby in a corner.
Because if you've ever had somebody cornered, you can like taste it. You feel it, you're just ready to go. You don't think a lot at that point. You just commit to your technique. So if I'm pulling him and pulling him and pulling him, and I get myself right towards the edge of the ring accidentally, it is going to give him a crazy amount of confidence to just come straight in. Now another thing it's done is it's limited his range of footwork and ring control. So I've taken that away from him. He's not going to use a lot of angles. He's going to probably just come straight in, and this is the best place and time to be for a counter fighter. So again, if we push back just a little bit and we're moving around, he wants to throw that jab, I might take it away, take it away, take it away. And if you notice, oh no, I'm at the edge of the ring and he's feeling confident and ready to go. And at this point, he's getting that thing ready. So as he goes, I go in and I cover that distance, I close that gap as fast as possible as soon as I see him plant and ready to move, because I know that he's not gonna try to be too creative and too sneaky. He's probably just gonna go right in. And of course, as we're doing all this, we wanna make sure that we're training this a lot with a training partner first. So don't just try this for the first time out in a competition, because it does take a lot of practice and a lot of work to become a great counter fighter. Try it with anybody that you can, and then let me know the results down the bottom. If you are a counter fighter, give some tips down below. Of course, in a couple minute long video, we can't cover everything, so toss some comments down below and help other people grow so we can build up this community. But other than that, have a great time training this. Have an awesome day. We'll see you all in the next video. All right, peace.